How you doing? How you been? Hope you're doing well. It's Oddly James. Welcome to my channel, all about witchcraft, paganism, and the like. Now, we all like buying tools and whatnot for our practice, whether that be crystals, herbs, candles, pendulums, cauldrons, etc. And then we like showing those off on social media. But something we don't often hear about, however, are pre-made spell bags. And these you can typically find on Etsy, or you can even find them at local shops. So what are spell bags? Who would use them? And what are some precautions you might need to take when buying them? So let's start off with what is a pre-made spell bag. And like I said, you can find these on Etsy and even at your local witchy shops. And typically what they are is just like a little bag. You see these bags all the time. So it's usually a little bag, and inside the bag you usually get a jar of herbs. Now this jar is actually bigger. The jar I originally got with this success spell was really small, but I already use those herbs, so this is just for show. And then you also get usually get like a small pillar candle. Usually get a stick of Palo Santo wood. This is for cleansing. And then you sometimes will get a little jar of oils, and then you also might get a tea light candle. And prices will vary. The local witchy shop that I usually go to is the Smoking Cauldron. They are in Lake Worth, Florida. And she charges about $12 to $13 per spell. She has healing spells, success spells, love spells, things like that. And that's really all they are. They're just simple bags with curated ingredients to create a particular spell. And then they usually include an incantation. Mine does include one. It is currently in my Book of Shadows, which I don't feel like digging out right now. They're usually incantation either printed or typed on a piece of parchment paper. So why would you buy one of these spell bags when you just make your own? So I feel like either if you are a new practitioner and you're kind of just getting or learning spell work or becoming comfortable with spell work, and you're not quite to the level of creating your own spells yet, it might be good to go and purchase some of these pre-made spells so you can actually just practice doing the spell or doing the work. Burning the incense, reciting the incantation, lighting the candles, putting your intention into the spell. And so it might be good for beginners or those just learning. I feel like also people who are very busy or have busy lives, who maybe just don't have time to go out and collect all the ingredients they need. Maybe they don't have the ingredients on hand. And so why not just go and buy a spell that's got everything you need right there in it. And all you have to do is really, perform the spell. You don't have to do all the collecting and all the gathering and all that stuff. So it might be good for people who are very busy. And then you also have just the lazy witches who just don't feel like going out and using intuition or just putting together a list of herbs or even just experimenting. Because the people who put together these spells, usually, I feel like have already done the legwork to kind of figure out what works. And we'll get into correspondences a little later because that might come into play. But they've already done the legwork to figure out what combination of herbs work typically, and they've put all that stuff together, done all the legwork for you, and so all you have to do is actually perform the spell. So it could just be like a matter of convenience, which in my case, that's really why I bought a pre-made spell. One, I wanted to see if it would actually work, and two, it was kind of just convenient to have everything right there. Let's say you decide, okay, maybe a pre-made spell is probably good for me right now. What are some things that I need to keep in mind, or what are some precautions that I should take? One is, who is the creator of the spell bag? And the other would be, what are the ingredients? So for who the creator is this somebody you trust? Do you know this person? If you don't know this person, how can you know that their intentions are good when creating the spell? There are nefarious people out there who will purposefully use baneful herbs to create spells and then sell them to unsuspecting, most likely new witches who are just kind of getting into practice or, trying to learn spell work. I feel like that could very well be a thing, especially if you're buying online from like Etsy or eBay. I'm not saying that's the case with all people, but I mean, it is something to be aware of and just something to like really think about. Read reviews, kind of maybe look into maybe their social media, just to make sure they're kind of on the up and up. I like to purchase my spells when I do. I like to purchase them locally. I go to a place called the Smoking Cauldron. As I mentioned before, when I buy the spells, they usually come in a spell bag, and then I get the candles and all that stuff. But I know the owners, and I know they're good people. I know that they wouldn't create or put together a spell with ill intent. So I have full trust in them and know that when I buy a spell from Smoking Cauldron, it's going to be okay. This is not a sponsorship for the Smoking Cauldron. I like them. We go down there quite a bit. We put a lot of money into their store. So is it somebody that you can trust? Also, what are the ingredients that they use? Do they list the ingredients that they use? And the reason why this might be important is because of correspondences. And we know what correspondences are, right? So let's say you are making a calming spell and you want to use lavender because for you, lavender is a calming herb. But for me, if I want to make a calming spell, I'm not going to use lavender because lavender makes me sneeze and causes allergic reactions, and lavender is not my friend. So correspondences will differ between or from witch to witch. With that said, though, Trina, who is the owner of the Smoking Cauldron, does not put ingredients on her herb jars that come with the spells. What I like about that is because I don't have to worry about do we share the same correspondences? I put my full correspondence onto the jar itself. And I just kind of say, okay, this jar of herbs corresponds with success, okay? Because it was a success spell that I bought from her. This jar of herbs correspond to success. And I tell myself that. And I put that intention onto the jar. So that way I don't have to worry about the individual herbs. Now, if I was going to make my own spell, yes, I would find herbs that kind of correspond with success to me personally. But when buying the spell, I set my correspondence to the entire jar itself and work the spell that way. Because remember, it's a lot about your intent. So in that case, I'm okay with the differences in correspondence because I just put it in the jar. Now, I will say this. I bought the success spell. I did the spell work. I did the incantation. I used the herbs that she provided. And it has been working really well so far. My YouTube channel has been growing. That's what the intent of that spell was to grow this YouTube channel. And so far it is still working. I might have to recharge that spell here coming up. I feel like it's starting to kind of lose its potency, so I'm gonna have to recharge that spell. But as long as I took these ingredients and kind of put my will, my intent into them, my correspondence, everything works fine. One more thing I do want to kind of mention regarding intent and who creates these spells. I have seen ritual candles or spell candles being sold, and I don't mean just candles that come in a spell. I mean actual candle magic spells. So spells or candles that have been created by hand with an intention and carved with a sigil. For example, like a healing candle. These I don't buy because that is somebody else's intention, and whether or not they're good people or they had a good intention, they could have, you don't know what they were thinking at the time. If they were mad, if they were feeling kind of irritated, all that goes in the candle. Now you could say, well, you just cleanse the candle, but then you're stripping all of that magic out of that candle. And then, you know, at that point, you might as well just create your own candle, your own sigil candle, and do your own candle magic. So those I will not buy. I will not buy pre-made intention candles. I guess we'll call them intention. I don't know what the official name is. We'll just call them intention candles. I don't buy those because those have somebody else's intention built into them. And for me, that's a little scary. I don't want to play Russian roulette with candle magic. As far as pre-made spell bags where the practitioner just kind of put the ingredients together, did the legwork for you, found the herbs that work. They did all the legwork. All you have to do is the actual spell work. I'm totally okay with that because I can cleanse each individual item in the bag and then put my own intention into the spell work. So that I think is okay. I think you'll be okay if you buy sort of a bag because, like I said, the person selling you that bag, all they really did was they gathered the ingredients and put them together for you. And if they are somebody of ill intent, just do a cleansing and put your own intention on top of that. So there's my little video. I just want to, talk about pre-made spells because I don't really hear about that very often. I don't see like reviews on YouTube or anything. So I thought I could just make for an interesting video. If you are ever in the Lake Worth, Florida area, please go visit the Smoking Cauldron. Again, they're not a sponsor. I just really like their shop. The wife and I go down there quite a bit. This is where I got I got my herb box. I bought an herb box up here. I'll actually show, you know what? I should do like a witchy haul of stuff that I bought this month. But I bought a box of herbs. I bought most of my altar stuff from there. So they are a really great shop. I'll put a link to their store. They do sell on Etsy, so I'll put a link to their Etsy store in the description below. Please check them out. If you have any thoughts on this, or if you disagree, please let me know down in the comments. Leave a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are on buying prepared spells. Do you sell prepared spells on Etsy? I'd like to have a discussion about it. I'm really genuinely curious. If you don't agree with buying any of this stuff, that's perfectly okay. I would like to know. I'd like to know what your thoughts are. So leave a comment down below. And that's going to do it for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're still here, thank you so much for sticking around. If you liked the video, like the video. If you like the other content that I've created, consider becoming a subscriber if you haven't already, and click that bell notification so you'll know every time that I upload a new video. Typically, I try to do one video a week. I'm going to try to do 2 videos a week. I know I said that last video. I'm working on it. If you would like to hang out with me outside of YouTube, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at It's Oddly James. And I also stream on Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, starting at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over twitch.tv/It's Oddly James. Until next time, be well, be safe, stay odd, y'all.